Do you want to talk to your friends about topics you enjoy and get paid for it? Then download Anchor. Anchor allows you to record and edit your podcast from your phone or computer and get paid for it. They will distribute your podcast for you through one click of a button to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with minimum listenership. An app like this should cost money, but it's free. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Hey, welcome back to Straight to the Wickets. My name is Dinesh.
I'm Oculus.
And today we're joined by a special guest, Nicholas Bowling.
What's up?
What's up, man?
What's up?
You good?
So, Nick, you're a Miami fan, sports-wise, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
This draft, the Dolphins selected Tua, and the Dolphins have been waiting to select Tua for like a year, tank for Tua. But there was a quarterback selected before him, Joe Burrow. So if you had to go back and the Dolphins had the first pick, would you rather choose Tua or Joe Burrow?
That's a tough question because it depends on, because the sort of system we're running, I think with Flores and how he likes to run things, I think Tua is the better fit. Because there were questions about, the locker room presence of Burrow. Is he a true leader? All that kind of stuff. And with all the weapons he had at LSU, granted Tua had weapons at Alabama as well, but Joe Burrow had one season of greatness, like one of the best college seasons ever. And he got drafted number 1 overall. And Tua was a little bit more sustained, but I just remember Tua was consensus number 1 overall pick before the season started. So I think if I had to, I'd probably still go Tua, or I'd trade down and take Tua.
I get that, yeah. I mean, he's the better player. It's just injury concern wise.
Yeah, it might be a bit more controversial, but
yeah. But I agree with that. Like Joe Burrow, he had weapons. He had the offense. He played 2 seasons at LSU. People don't remember that. The first season he played, he didn't do that.
First season wasn't great, yeah.
Yeah. It was all right. People were like, he's going to do better next year, but no one predicted what he was going to do.
No, I remember because I remember him throwing that pick 6 and getting a stiff arm in the game against UCF I think it was the Peach Bowl. And then I remember because I'm a Hurricanes fan, so I remember him beating us as well. So
I'd say Tua had more weapons in college.
Yeah.
His 4 receivers are all going to be they're all going to be first round picks, even the ones going into the next draft.
Devonta Smith is probably going to be a first round pick.
Yeah.
But then you got but the offense with Joe Brady as the offensive coordinator. He's in Carolina now. He's in Carolina, yeah. And
Carolina's literally a college team now.
Yeah, they got Matt Rule, and that's going to be an interesting team. But they're a young team. I mean, they've got Bradbury at cornerback that he's pretty good. They got Brian Burns. I think the Panthers are going to be all right, but they got a good division to go against.
A little who'd you rather of NFL quarterbacks?
Ooh, let's do this.
So we're going to do young guys. We're going to start with Tua versus Kyler Murray.
Tua and Kyler Murray?
That is tough.
If I had to take it right now, the better player is Tua, but if I had to choose right now, Kyler Murray.
What about you, Dinesh?
See, I'm a Seahawks fan, and Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, I don't like the Cardinals, but Kyler Murray reminds me a little bit of he's a smaller guy, so he reminds me a little bit of Russell Wilson. But I mean, just because of size, nothing else really. But
no, he's also mobile.
Yeah, I mean,
they both played baseball.
Both elusive
too. Both did play baseball. Yeah. One was a little better though.
A little.
One was a little better.
I think I'd take.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you got it.
So I was saying the reason I would pick Kyler Murray is because he's had a year of experience and it's less of a risk. Because I think both of them have the upside. Both of them I think have MVP upside, or at least close to there, Pro Bowl, all pro upside. But injury concerns with Tua are more prevalent, so I think you got to go with the safe bet there.
Kyler Murray or Sam Darnold?
Kyler Murray.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've gone against. I've watched too many games where Sam Darnold has imploded against the Dolphins.
quick. Kyler Murray or Baker Mayfield?
Ooh, that's a toughie.
Because Baker, I'll say this about Baker, because I like Baker. He's always been like, when he has the fire in him, when people doubt him, he's always really good.
Yeah.
But
I
it's
liked
like
it
last
when he
season,
shotgunned the beer at the baseball game. That was cool.
really.
The reason I'm not picking Baker is because he's had all of these weapons in
I agree
Cleveland,
with
No,
and he didn't perform last year. Like, I think that he was second in the league in picks, only to Jameis, because who's gonna beat Jameis in picks?
I think
Yeah.
this season he's gonna have that fire in him again, and I feel like he's gonna prove a lot of us wrong.
I think he's gonna be better than he was last year, but I don't think he's gonna be better than Kyler.
I get that. What about Kyler versus? Oh damn, you guys are getting everyone down. Carson Wentz.
I'd say Carson Wentz.
That's a toughie, just because Carson Wentz has the injury concerns, but I think the better player is probably Wentz. But
Yeah,
that's
I'd agree.
close. That's
Wait,
close.
I'd say Kyler.
Huh.
Kyler is a better player
Wow, what do you think?
because he's more mobile. He's got that arm, and he literally was the offense last year, kind of.
But
They don't have an O line last
that
year,
is true.
so Wentz has had options, like guys that he's had that can.
His best receiver has been Ertz.
Ertz is a good high end.
Ertz is good, but he's had Alshon Jeffrey. I mean, I
And
think
the offense.
remember Wentz was an MVP candidate before he got hurt in what was it? The year they went to the Super Bowl.
But you also have to think about the
2017?
offense. The offense, Doug
Yeah,
Peterson.
that's true. Doug
Makes
Peterson,
guys look
yeah,
really good.
that's a fair point.
So you guys
That
are
was a
taking
tough one.
Wentz.
Yeah,
I
I'd
think I'll
take
go with
Wentz.
Wentz. I think I'll go with Wentz. He has more experience.
So this one should be easy. Carson Wentz or Jared Goff.
Is it really easy though?
No, it's not really that easy.
Really?
I think because if you're basing it off solely last season, both of them were good last year. I guess I'll go with Wentz because Goff's contract is just ridiculous and massive. So I wouldn't want to take that on, and I think Wentz has a higher ceiling.
What about you, Nude? I thought this was easy.
You know what? I have no idea.
No, Jared Goff has weapons. Like Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods is kind of underrated. They had Brandon Cooks, and he was only really that good when Todd Gurley was like dominating.
I think I'd take Wentz.
Yeah, well, the key to Goff's success, good offensive line and a run game. Then he has that play action, and then he's lethal. But I think he could be like I don't know. I don't want to like play him down and be like a system quarterback, but
I think
kind
at
of
best,
is.
he's a system quarterback, and he's in a really good system.
He is in a great because he had one of the best running backs in the NFL, who still is, but he just had injury stuff. But
Carson Wentz or Jimmy Garoppolo?
Jimmy G.
All
I'm
right.
taking Carson Wentz.
Wow.
Screw the 49ers, man.
Oh yeah, you're a Seahawks fan.
There's three other guys that are kind of young that I was gonna say: Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes. Should we do that? I don't know, because I feel like they're just another tier above
If we
everyone.
had to
I
rank
think
them,
Patrick Mahomes
they are
is above
tier.
a tier of everyone else, though.
Like,
Yeah.
people I talk to are always like Russell Wilson is better than Patrick Mahomes, which I disagree with. I think Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL, and then Wilson, and then
All right.
Lamar Jackson.
Wait. Think about this though, real quick. Put Patrick Mahomes in the same put Patrick Mahomes on the Seahawks and see how far they get.
I think he'd go far because his arm talent is ridiculous.
Here's the thing with Patrick Mahomes: if he didn't go to Kansas City, he wouldn't be this good.
No, yeah, 100%.
Like for sure, because he wasn't. Deshaun Watson dominated in college. He beat Alabama. If you beat Alabama, you're impressive already. So it's like he dominated for years in college. Patrick Mahomes was like 6-6 at Texas Tech.
He couldn't win in college, but he was impressive in college.
He had moments in college.
Yeah, they were like gunslinger.
Yeah.
He's a project.
Yeah.
Which is why he didn't start his first year. Sitting under Alex Smith was probably the best decision because Alex Smith is not known as like a gunslinger type of quarterback. He was he was more of an accuracy, like,
Game manager.
game manager. There you go. And
Yeah. I personally think college is better than NFL. I'm just gonna leave the football on that. College football is more entertaining due to Oklahoma.
yeah, you could say that. You could say that.
So basically, you're like a Miami fan in all facets of sports. You're a Hurricanes fan, you're a Heat fan, you're a
Pretty
Marlins
much.
fan, you're a Dolphins fan.
Yeah, I also have family from Chicago, so I like Chicago teams too. Like, the Cubs are one of my favorite baseball teams. I like the Blackhawks are a good hockey team.
You said both the good Chicago teams and said bye-bye to everyone else.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. The Panthers are currently better. I'm not a bandwagon. I promise.
Yeah, no.
The Cubs are never going to be my favorite team, and but the Blackhawks were good, but now they're terrible. So.
Because I was thinking for a second, I was like, "There's no good Chicago teams anymore," and then I was like, then you said those, so I was like, "Oh, there are two good teams."
The Cubs won in 2016, and the Blackhawks won 3 championships in 5 years, I think.
I hated that when they beat the Lightning.
I've never liked the Lightning at all. I hate the Lightning.
Oh,
Like normally I respect the Tampa teams because it's home, but like the Lightning hate them because of their fans. That's the sole reason why.
fans aren't bad.
I don't like the fans because the fans are like fake. I see like driving around, they could be like an average team, but then once the playoffs start, they all just go nuts, and they're all like, "Yeah, Lightning." They're like, "Go Bolts," and I'm just like, "You fake fans, stop."
Oh no, I just stay consistent, like kind of there, but
If you're
if
you're consistent, that's cool.
Yeah.
But if you're like nothing until the playoffs start, that's why.
until the playoffs start, I'm not gonna lie, I don't watch the games often. Like we went to some, and then like I'll watch them on TV, but I'll like pay attention to every game, like what the
Pay
score
attention to the
was.
scores, exactly.
Yeah, but like I'm not watching every regular season game. I'm
You're
sorry.
not gonna be like I like the people who like put flags on their cars and like go Bulls.
Oh yeah.
Where was that when the season started? Like when
Was
like
that energy?
this year the Lightning were I'm pretty sure they were just like average going up until one point of the season, and then they caught fire and became the best team in hockey. And now they are again, they're the best team in hockey.
All right. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about the Heat and where they're headed this season and how they've been. We know Bam Adebayo, obviously
Yes.
one of the most young, prominent all-stars in the league.
Just turned 23 the other day.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right. So how do you feel about him in the most improved player race?
He's the most improved player because you look at overall his game.
Exactly.
He was a bench player last year. He was up until the end of the year when he replaced Hassan Whiteside.
I'm so glad that happened, dude. I'm
Me too.
so glad Whiteside's off the team.
Yeah, Whiteside's out in Portland. We got shooters. He's got shooters in Portland, but we're
we got real shooters.
We're the second best team 3-point shooting wise, but I digress. So Bam went from a guy who was like pretty much coming out of the NBA. He was a very raw talent. He was a jumper really, and then he had no 3-point shot. He had an average mid range until this year where he's had I wouldn't say above average. He would have an above average inside of 15 feet.
Mm-hmm.
He's been a facilitator basically, which you didn't really expect that coming out of college.
Exactly. Coming out of college, he was basically an energy guy. He was the guy who was gonna get some rebounds, get some dunks, play some good defense. But you never expected him to be running down the floor with the ball, making amazing passes like he is, and controlling the offense.
Yeah.
So it's pretty incredible how it's happened.
He was expected to be a really good defensive player. That was like the idea of him from everyone. But
that's literally the reason they drafted him.
No. But culture with Spoelstra and stuff, like they kind of knew a little extra, and they're like, okay, we might be able to mold this guy into something extra, kind of. I don't think anyone saw what would happen right now, though. I don't think no one expected that, but they thought they could make him a good offensive presence.
Yeah.
From the beginning.
Well, you think he pretty much doubled in points. He went from about 9 points to 16. I think he added 3 rebounds. He went from 7.3 to 10.5, and then his assists went from 2.2 to 5.1. So he went pretty nuts. Because I think if you increase your assists by that much as a 4 or 5, I think that's crazy. Because you just gotta watch him play. It won't jump out in the stats line. If we're talking about solely stats, it's probably Devontae Graham. Because he went from
Brandon Ingram also.
Or Brandon Ingram, but I think Devontae Graham went from like 4 points to 16. So
yeah, but he's also on a below average team, and he's basically the main ball handler on the team, and he has a pretty crap shooting percentage. So
he chucks up a lot of threes.
Stats wise, I don't think Brandon Ingram compares either. Like Magic Johnson was like he went up, but he didn't go up like Bam did either. So even stat wise, he just didn't, and he's really just a scorer. Nothing.
No, he went from 18 to 24. That's a pretty big jump in points.
That's going from like an average score to an above average score. So that's something.
Yeah, but I feel like Bam has taken a step to not franchise, but like
No, he's definitely a franchise player.
Yeah, he's elite. Like I feel like in the playoffs, he's gonna show why he's like someone that can be that number 2 option. Like
he's a top 5 center, I think, or a top 5.
Definitely, for sure. Definitely top 5 center for sure.
I think he'll be the Heat's main defender against all these like really good teams.
Yeah,
honestly,
he's the one who. If you think about the potential defensive lineup that the Heat can run, we don't have him anymore. But imagine if we had Justice at the point guard, you had Jimmy at the 2.
He got injured. Did you hear about that? He got injured.
Yeah, he did get injured again.
He's out for the season.
Imagine this defensive lineup. Granted, we wouldn't have Jay Crowder if we had Justice Winslow. But imagine Justice Winslow or Iguodala, but I'm not including Iguodala. You have Justice Winslow, Jimmy Butler, Derrick Jones Jr., Jay Crowder, Bam Adebayo.
That is a bad defensive lineup.
Even if you can replace Justice Winslow with you can even put Iggy in there, and then you run Jimmy at the 1. Jimmy's pretty much played the 1. He's played the 1 out of the 2.
No, I think Iguodala is like kind of right now with the shape he's in with the time off. He's kind of back to where I think he can play one last postseason of dominant. Like when he was no one can stop LeBron, but when he was managing to kind of when he was able to kind of contain him a bit, I feel like he's back in that shape right now. So he can.
I don't think he can still do that. I think he needs Bam to do that.
Let me ask you.
Bam was the youngest stopper.
Yeah.
In retrospect, how do you feel about the trade? How do you feel about Justice Winslow being sent off to Memphis and then us getting Jay Crowder and Iguodala in return?
I love Jay Crowder.
Honestly, everyone was talking about Andre Iguodala being the big piece. Jay Crowder has been much more impactful. He's been much more impactful.
But also Iguodala, you have to wait for the playoffs though.
That's
where he's going to show up.
I'm talking up to now. Jay Crowder has been a much bigger part of the deal than Andre Iguodala has.
So it was a matter of giving up James Johnson, who some games he was pretty good, some games he was not good, and taking pretty much Solomon Hill for Dion Waiters cancels it out because Solomon Hill's terrible. Dion Waiters hasn't played.
Solomon Hill
is good, but he hasn't played. I don't like Solomon Hill at all. I don't know why he was getting minutes. But so then you have Justice Winslow for pretty much and James Johnson for Jay Crowder and Iggy. We kind of overpaid Iggy.
Yeah, with the second year, we added a second-year deal to it. We added 2 years. We added 2 years. The next year is included, and then the year after is a team option. So that's good.
But I just think we didn't need to pay him that much.
Yeah, no, I don't think we did either.
But there's been times on the floor where watching back old games, he just looked like not there because I think his shooting isn't where it could have.
It's been inconsistent so far.
It's been very inconsistent. Whereas Jay Crowder's been on top.
Well, speaking about the playoffs, right? The Heat team, they have a bunch of rookies and sophomore players that are vital to the team. How do you think they're going to perform in the playoffs when it comes to that point?
To put it frank, Tyler has balls, man. He can shoot the lights out. He's not afraid to take the big shots. So.
Oh yeah,
that game. If you look at the Philly game where that's a game-tying shot. When I was watching that live, I was like, why did he take that shot?
And then he made it.
It went in, and I'm like, I don't care. Thank you for taking the shot, because that's him. The Heat are finally back to full strength. Now they got Tyler back, they got Myers Leonard back. It was huge for the team. Even though
Myers Leonard was extremely underrated. He's like the glue to the team.
He's personally he's my favorite player, one of my favorite players on the team, just because of his Instagram and so cool. But
he's such a likable person too.
He's just a very likable person. So get the young guys. So we got Kendrick, we've got Duncan, we've got Tyler. Kendrick, I think, is gonna be his average like 15 points a game. I think if you look at from the beginning of the season to now, he's improved so much passing wise. Then you get Duncan. I think Duncan, as long as he can still shoot the lights out, he's just got to figure out how to develop a mid-range shot.
I just want to say this. I think Duncan Robinson is the most vital player on the team.
Oh yeah, because of his shooting,
purely because of his shooting.
Wait, maybe
No.
Okay,
I think it's
Jimmy
Bam.
Butler, or Bam, but like Duncan is up there with that.
He's the most impactful player. Like when he's out there, he allows the spacing on the floor, which allows Bam and Butler to get to the inside where they excel.
You usually have to put your best defender on it.
Yeah, they do, because he's nonstop moving. He literally replaced Wayne Ellington, but 10 times better. 10 times better.
10 times better.
Because
I was saying, watching the games during the
Wayne
season,
Ellington was worse.
It kind of reminded me of the Warriors. The way they move, nonstop movement, passing. They're not as good as the Warriors were. It reminds me of it.
He's Curry without handles, in my opinion. Because Curry's always like
without
say
anything inside the 3-point line.
Why don't you just say he's like Klay Thompson without defense?
No, because Klay Thompson doesn't run around as much.
He does.
His movement. He does.
Off the ball movement of Klay Thompson is crazy.
His off the ball movement reminds me of Curry, but everything else isn't Curry.
Yeah.
Because he's 6'9" or he might be 6'7", I don't know.
Yeah,
and he doesn't have an inside shot.
Well,
actually, an inside shot.
He's excelled at cutting. I don't know if everyone's noticed this, but with the cuts he makes to the basket, he makes like 80% of his inside shots. He doesn't take that many, but he makes 80% of them. He's a pretty good finisher. He just doesn't have the ability.
I want him to be a 50, 40, 90 guy.
I think he has the potential to.
He's close. He's just got to hit a few inside shots and then he'll get there. He's taken so many threes.
I feel like the Heat have two duos. They have the Bam Duncan, where it's like Bam sets the screen, kind of gives the ball off to Duncan. Duncan shoots a three, or Bam can drive. And then they have Butler and Hero, because Butler drives, and he always knows where Hero is kind of on the court. If you look at every Hero highlight, it has something to do with Butler. The Philly one was caused by Butler, actually.
It was caused by Embiid's stupidity. He literally, there were 3 players around him, and he puts the ball down when he's 7'1". He could have just held it straight up, but he puts the ball down.
Then again, they could jump and hit it.
Yeah, Butler, and there was Derrick Jones right there. Yeah,
dude, Derrick Jones Jr. is extremely. He's also underrated.
Derrick Jones Jr. didn't deserve to lose that dunk contest.
He won.
I know. I'm saying everyone's like Aaron Gordon should have won. I'm like, Derrick Jones Jr. should deserve the title.
I mean, we're obviously biased because we're Heat fans. But speaking from an unbiased perspective, I think he should have won it easily too, because his dunks were better than Aaron Gordon.
But if you go before overtime, he had a dunk that he was given like a 49 on or a 48 that should have been a 50, and Aaron Gordon got a 50 on a weak dunk on one of them earlier. I can't tell you which one because I haven't rewatched it in a while, but
I think he won it earlier. But if you really want to go off that last dunk, Gordon did win the last dunk.
No, he didn't.
The last dunk.
He literally put his balls on Taco Fall's neck. It's not that hard.
He's a 7'5" guy.
He still put the ball. If you can't jump over him clean, then don't attempt the dunk and expect to win because it wasn't clean.
Over Shaq.
Shaq wouldn't have done it. Shaq's probably got a bad back and
Shaq said no. That's why
all these companies on the sponsorships, but.
Who are the biggest threats to the Miami Heat in the playoffs? And how far do you think they can go?
They can't win the finals, but I think they can make it to the finals.
I agree with you.
That's the situation where the Raptors beat the Celtics. The Heat win in the first round to go against the Bucks.
Well, no, actually,
he takes the Bucks to 7 and win in 7. The Heat beat the Raptors. Heat go to the finals and lose to either of the LA teams.
We sucked against LA all season, though.
We should have beat them that one game.
Yeah,
it was the game on ESPN.
Against the Clippers.
Against the Clippers and against the Lakers. The one where 2-minute report was like Jimmy was fouled twice on an inbound.
Jimmy literally got injured both times against the Clippers. I don't know what it is. He just gets injured against the Clippers.
He could win it all, I feel like, against the Clippers or Lakers, but it's not gonna be likely. But I do think they still have a chance.
They're always gonna have a chance, but I don't think you go against the Clippers who are the deepest team in basketball.
But theoretically speaking, all teams have a chance.
But I think they have a decent chance they have Bam who can guard. They have 2 really good defenders in Bam and Jimmy. And both those teams are based around duos, and you have other guys that can back them up. And I mean, yeah, like the Clippers have depth, but like Lakers don't, and all that.
Lakers don't have depth, but they have AD and they
Yeah,
have
yeah,
AD.
LeBron.
Bam will lock
Who are
them
two
down.
bigs? So, LeBron
I
isn't
feel like-
necessarily a big, but LeBron's
Jimmy-
gonna need to be guarded by Jimmy, and we don't have anybody to guard.
No, I'd
No,
put
Bam can guard AD. No, Jimmy's actually been able to guard LeBron his whole career. If you search up Jimmy Butler guarding LeBron James, it goes back to 2012.
the stats. LeBron against Jimmy. The stats have been leaning towards Butler. I'm pretty sure.
I swear, the last game that
And Iggy can guard him sometimes too.
that is true.
And the thing is, I think Bam can take down AD.
Yeah. On 247 Sports, there's an article about it.
Oh,
Look at how old it is too.
Okay. Jimmy Butler has a 5-12 head-to-head. Well, this was in 2018, but he had a 5-12 head-to-head regular season matchups against
what?
LeBron. So Jimmy's 112 and LeBron's 1-5.
Oh,
Don't look at the playoffs.
don't look at this shit.
Only the
And
playoffs.
playoffs, yeah.
No, I think it's
last
about how
game.
many-
Last game, LeBron had 28, 12, and 9 against.
Yeah, he's a freak, man. LeBron's a freak.
I mean, it's.
I'm
it's
so
just
glad he
fun.
was on the Heat for 4 years.
We had 4 years, so we should have had more. You know.
I don't think I think if the 76ers and Celtics play in the first round, I think the Sixers will actually get by.
Nah. No.
Wait, say it again.
Sixers will actually beat the Celtics in the first round, I feel like.
Literally,
Mhm.
the only team I am scared about in the playoffs for the Heat is the Celtics.
Yeah, that's the only team I'm scared about, but I think the
For
Sixers
me
will stop.
and the Bucks, but
No. No. Because
I
think
feel
Bam,
like Bam can guard
Giannis.
Giannis to a heavy extent. He's been able to stop him.
but it's
And also,
still-
Giannis doesn't have a huge record in the playoffs either. So you know,
That is true, but I'm just saying it's still Giannis. So I'm still.
it is still Giannis, but you know,
But if you can get Giannis kind of stopped, you have Jimmy to lock down like Middleton or Bledsoe, Iggy to lock down one of them, Crowder to lock down. You
Derek
got
Jones
the-
Jr. is our third best defender on the team. He's our
Really?
third best defender.
DJ Shea is definitely the third best
The
defender.
third best defender on our team.
As far as it
wanna
goes
try
to
him with
one-on-one
LeBron.
matchups, I take Jimmy. Huh?
Because I remember, it was the game where against Atlanta where we came back. Not the game where Trey had 50, but Derek Jones Jr. was putting Trey on clamps.
Yeah,
For the-
yeah.
For the last fourth quarter of the game, he was frustrating him so much.
Was it the game where Trey Young, the
Yeah,
infamous Trey
it's
over,
over.
it's
It's
over
over, yeah.
game?
And
Yeah.
that was the game where in overtime he just clamped up.
Dude, honestly, that might be my favorite game of the season.
That was my favorite game of the year.
It's either that, it's between the Philly one, the Pacers one, and this one.
Ooh, the Pacers game where TJ Warren got ejected. That's fun.
Yeah, so that's the episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds good then.
Thank you guys for having
this.
me.
Yeah, no, thank you for being on, man. It was fun.
Yeah, it was very fun and enjoyable. I wish I would have woken up on time. But,
Nah, it's cool. It's
Denise
cool.
literally had to call me to wake me up.
Thank you guys for listening, and new episodes every Monday and Thursday. Hope you guys have a good one.
Adios.